Okay, let's start with some concentrated sucrose solution. We are going to put 2 centimetres into the first measuring cylinder, 1 centimetre into the second, and 1 centimetre into the third. So the first one gets 2, just a little bit too much. But we can transfer that to the second, where we're going to get 1. And we need 1 centimetre cubed or thereabouts in the third. Just a little bit too much, so we'll pour some out. And there, we'll replace that with the middle one. Next, we add some hydrogen peroxide to the first one, and again we're going to add approximately 2 centimetres cubed. So 2 centimetres cubed of hydrogen peroxide into the tube on the left. There we go. Next, we add 2 centimetres cubed of water, distilled water here, to the middle tube. And finally, we're going to add 1 centimetre cubed of hydrogen peroxide and 2 centimetres cubed of 2 molar sodium hydroxide into the third tube. So here's the hydrogen peroxide. And just get some sodium hydroxide. And about 2 centimetres cubed of this one. Now we need to mix the contents of the tubes, and we'll do that with plastic dropping pipettes. In fact, we can probably just use the same pipette to save the washing up, potential environmental impact. So those are our mixtures. Next, we need to add some solid luminol to the tube on the right. So here's the luminol, as we've seen before. Just take a few milligrams, and we add that to the right-hand tube. Again, we need to mix that up to encourage the luminol to dissolve. And now we can start adding the solutions to our diving chamber here. So in our first tube, we transfer the sucrose and the hydrogen peroxide. Next, we're going to add our 2 little divers here. In they go. Now, if the manganese dioxide that's been glued to the surface works, they should start bubbling away. But to prevent them rising up, we'll put the neodymium magnets close to the bottom here. Well, they are producing bubbles, but rather slowly. So it looks as like we really could use more manganese dioxide stuck to the surface of the magnesium there. But you can see bubbles are starting to be produced. Well, next we're going to add half of the contents of the second measuring cylinder slowly down the side. In fact, due to mixing, we'll add over half. We don't want this one to mix, so slowly. And now we're going to add a few drops of iron 3 chloride, just a couple of drops. And now we're going to add the remainder of the second measuring cylinder, the middle one. Very slowly. We want this to sit on top of the iron 3 chloride if possible. Not sure how successful we're going to be with that, but that's the intention. And finally, we're going to add a layer containing the luminol. Again, this needs to be really slowly added. And you can see probably we're not being too successful with that slow addition there, but we'll do the best we can. Well, the last thing we need to do is have a look what it's like without light, and we'll attempt to do that by placing a box over the experiment. Of course, with the experiment in a dark box, it's a bit like Schrodinger's cat. I have no idea what's going on in the box. Are we seeing blue bubbles or not? So we've definitely got lots of bubbles. Whether we can pick that up on the camera is another thing. finally, I'm just going to add a little more iron 3 chloride to the surface. And replace the box again. There is one last thing that we can do, and that's to remove the magnets. Second one is falling down, the first one doesn't seem to want to move. Come on. There he goes. That's better. And they're doing the classic diving and rising. And of course there is one last thing that we can do, and that's transfer the whole apparatus into the darkroom. So let's see, we've got a better idea what's going on. Just rotate the, and The camera needs a little light to focus. It's still not able to pick it up. Getting in the way of the video image there, I think, but taking a few stills. So looks to me mostly finished now. About time to see what's happened in the light. Magnesium divers, come on up to the surface one last time. There they go, 1, 2. Made it. Oh, they're going back down.